Well, welcome to Woodcraft Revival, where we talk about all things wood. Today, I'm going to try to get a 6x6 out of this log. It's got a bit of an S-curve in it. So I'm going to see if I know I can get a 6x6. I just want to make sure I can isolate the heart in the center and not have a lot of wane here through the middle. So let's see what we can do here. So if we were dealing with just a two-dimensional item, this would be a little bit easier. You already saw that other angle looking down the bed of the sawmill, how the log has that S-curve in it. But you can see I haven't turned the log at all. You can see from this angle, however, how not only does it have an S-curve, but it comes up as well. So it's bringing in that third axis, and the end of that log's not even touching the bed. But what we're going to try to do is try to play. I think I did a video on Woodcraft Revival before about trying to mill out the curve of a log. That one was pretty pronounced. But I'm going to try to turn this where I can try to mitigate the movement over all three axes. So try to turn it in a way that it does still move all three directions. I can't fix that, but turn it in a way when I make that first cut that maybe all three axes have an equal amount of curve just by that rotation. So I think what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to move you guys over here, back to the end of the bed, I think. Actually, let's go double camera. All right, so with both cameras running, we're going to try to get the log closer to the bed over here. I mean, goodness, that's a good 2 inches on that spot, even higher as it goes out. And then, of course, from the overhead, we want to try to take this curve out as much as possible. So I think I'm going to try like a 45-degree rotation here. Well, from the overhead, that looks a lot better. We've taken a decent amount of the curve out that direction. On our horizontal shot, though, we kind of traded. We got a little closer to the bed here, but now we're not touching the bed at all right here. Let's turn some more. That was the extreme. We need to be somewhere in betwixt that, don't we? And now we're touching the bed there. Still not touching the bed here. This log's just too much of a curly cue, I believe. Touching. I think that may be our best shot right there. All right, so what does that give us? So vertical, now we've got a little bit of a fish belly to your all's left, the downhill side, but not as bad as it was originally. Horizontal, we got the end of the log on the bed, and we got this spot that was not touching the bed much closer. Now we're off the bed here, and we're off the bed here. So I think that's probably going to be the best we can do. Not the prettiest log. So now that we've got that taken care of, we've got that dog down, I need to see if I need to incorporate my homemade toe board there, see if I can get the heart centered with the first cut. So we'll do some measurements here and see what we're getting. All right, so on the butt end, heart is right at 5 inches. So let's go to the other end. Ooh, that's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. Like that is off not even 1/8 of an inch. So that's doable. We can leave that just where it is, and let's make our first cut. All right, so let's see what we ended up here. First, we'll look at the wane. How much wane did we end up with? Well, majority of the log all the way to the end is wane free. There's just a tiny cat's whisker. I mean, just a not even a centimeter of wane here. You can see a little bit of the bark edge there. Now, as we get down here to the end, of course, we do have some. So starting in the last 2 feet, we've got wane on 2 sides. The other 2 sides are clear. So our heart isolation on the butt end is not ideal. The heart is here. We obviously would like to have been over about 1 inch. But north-south, not too bad. East-west, yeah, I'd like to have been about 1 inch over, but that would, of course, produced more wane. Let's go look at the other end and see what it looks like. This one may not be as obvious to you guys, but the heart is right here. So it's good east-west, but not so great north-south. It could have been up 1 inch this way. So we're 1 inch off. Now for a 6x6 for a timber frame project, I don't think that's a deal breaker. The fact that the wood was curved and we've got a lot of grain doing this, that's probably where she's going to move more so than heart being out of center. We'll keep an eye on this and we'll use it where we need the least amount of structure or load. It'll probably be one of the top braces to connect the 2 bents together on the shed. So in my experience, that's just one of the tricks that you can possibly do to try to improve the outcome of a log that's got curve to it. Now, could I have thrown that log away? Sure, but I hate to waste it. I'd like to see if we could get anything out of it. Haven't done a lot of timber frame, but with doing these bigger dimensions, got a little bit more freedom there, a little bit more leeway when it comes to movement. If I was doing a bunch of 1x material, then I know that this would be all over the place. And so I guess it goes with your application. Well, I'm going to keep milling, and I just wanted to share this little effort, this attempt with you all, just to see if it would work out. Have it play out right here in front of everybody. So, well, as I always say, I pray you get to spend time out in God's beautiful creation. We'll see you next time.